Happy Saturday, everybody. It's Denise from Dobby Books. Happy No King's Day. I hope all of you, if you didn't get a chance to participate, at least were able to catch some of the action either on YouTube or on your local TV station. Apparently, I don't have the latest statistics, but it's supposed to be the biggest one ever. And I think that's awesome. So, more power to everybody. So, I want to go over my weekend, what I've read, and also the book haul. So, why don't we get the book haul done because that's the fun part. Excuse me, hold on. Excuse me. Okay. What I got, there are two things, three things that I got. The first one that I got in the mail, I ordered from Princeton University Press, a book I have really looked forward to getting. They have it in the hardback as well as the paperback, and I chose the paperback. And it's a book edited by Julian E. Zelizer, The Presidency of Joseph R. Biden, a First Historical Assessment. I don't know why I had the impression that it was some sort of biography, or at least a memoir, and it's not. It's just a collection of essays talking about the presidency of Joe Biden. And I can show you, this just came out, as a matter of fact. The copyright is 2026. And it has, in the table of contents, the editor writes the first couple of essays. Other authors are John Fabian Witt, Noah A. Rosenblum, Sean Venata, Michael Kazin, Paul Sabin, Mary Ziegler, Maria Cristina Garcia, Timothy Stewart Winter, Natalia Melman Pedersella, Khalil Gibran Mohammed, Joyce Mao, Ekaterina Pravilova, Daniel C. Kurtzer, Catherine Kramer Brownell, Joel K. Goldstein, and Timothy Naftali. And the various topics they write on, I won't go through all of them, but like the first one written by the editor is Trying to Save the Soul of America. Another one, Chapter 3, Antagonists and Enablers, the Tragic Dance of Biden and the Supremes. Let's see, there's one, Checked Ambition, the Biden Economic Agenda. Chapter 8, After the Fall of Roe, the Biden Presidency and Reproductive Policy. Chapter 10, Trans Rights and the Emerging Politics of Gender. Let's see. Chapter 17, The Historic and Consequential Harris Vice Presidency. The last chapter, 18, is The Withdrawal. Various other topics. It covers anything from economics to immigration, the environment. Let's see, what's the other one? Education wars, etc. So I think this is a good comprehensive collection on these various topics, and I am looking forward to reading through this. Personally, I loved President Biden. I thought he gave us a lot of hope after a dark time. I will miss him. I really will miss him. Okay, the next thing I found this today because, I was running some errands, and one of the places I had to stop at happened to be close to the open book. And I always have to stop by there and see if I can find any books in particular. And I thought I had this book, and I did not. And all I knew was the original cover. This is the newer one. It is the coolest thing. The Children's Homer, The Adventures of Odysseus and the Tale of Troy by Padraig Colum. See the name? So I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. Look at that cover. Is that the coolest thing or what? I like this one. And also when I compared this to the original, which I can't show you now, but the font is bigger. The spacing between the sentences is a little wider. So I really preferred this one. And on the back, there are also two more books. He wrote The Children of Odin and The Golden Fleece. So you see those covers there. Those are the newer ones. So maybe I could find them. We'll see. That would be lovely to add to my collection. This is just the coolest book. I'm going to see if I can find another illustration. All these illustrations are in the original. They brought them into this one as well. There's plenty through here. Here's another one. I've had a runny nose all day, so I think there must be something blooming in the air. So this is it, The Children's Homer by Padraig Colum, with a fantastic cover on it. And over at the Open Book, this cost me $4. The original price was $10.99, and the copyright on this one is 2004. So, not a bad deal. Could it have been less? Yeah. Oh, no, wait a minute. It's 4. Why did I think 10? 4. No, 4 is good. 4 is a good price. Okay. And then the last one I picked up was this one, 10 Minute Sourdough, Bread Making for Real Life. I don't know if any of you know, but I recently took my mother's bread maker out of my garage. For some reason, I remembered it, and I went to go look and see if I still had it, and I did. I made my first loaf, which bombed. I ended up having to give that to the trash can. And then I made a second one more carefully, and it came out perfectly. So, you know, I'm just on this little bread making kick, and I know sourdough is very healthy bread, especially homemade. So I tried making a sourdough starter maybe 2 years back, and I was working on that, but then I ended up stopping. So I'm going to do this again, and this time I have the bread maker to take care of the mixing and the kneading and whatever. And there's a setting on the machine itself. If you just push dough, it takes care of all the preliminaries. It saves you a little work. It helps gives it the time to rise and all that, and then kneading it again. So it does that hard work, and all you have to do when it's done is take the dough out and put it in the pan and pop it in the oven, unless you decide to bake it outright in the bread maker itself. This seems to be a real easy to understand book. The author is Vanessa Kimball. The publisher is someone. It says K. The publisher is, oh my goodness, my nose, Kyle Books, Kyle. And the copyright on this is first published in Great Britain in 2021. Kyle Books is an imprint of Octopus Publishing Group Limited in London. So, oh my gosh, this is just crazy, my eyes. 2021. So we'll leave it at that. Lovely book. I love the texture on the front cover. So there's that. So I ended up getting 3 books this week. These 3 here, I got a great price. These 2, this book here, the 10 Minute Sourdough, I got for $10. I have no idea what the original price was. Let's see, $22.99, and that was almost 5 years ago. So not bad. I got it for less than half price. Now, let me tell you what I am reading. What I did read was The Silver Pencil. This was for middle grade March. I had picked out at least 3 books for each themed category, hoping that I could get through 1 or 2 books a week. Just 1 or 2 books a week. March has been a very disappointing month for me. I think the overall reason for that has been fatigue. I'm working 3 or 4 days a week. It's not a full 8-hour shift, 6 at the most. And it's not physically demanding. Yet I'm finding myself coming home, I have my lunch, and I'm done. I will push myself to take the dog for her walk. That's our ritual for my husband and I. We take both dogs for a walk. And then I come home, and all I want to do is go to bed. And I don't like that feeling, because I'm just one of those people that's constantly doing something at home. I have to feel productive. Now, that, of course, can be good or bad, depending on how much I can keep that under control rather than it controlling me. I understand that. But I think the biggest problem is the fatigue is related to my recovery from surgery. And it's taking longer than I want it to. Yes, I'm feeling closer to my old self. Yes. And I'm seeing the benefits and feeling the benefits of that surgery. That's wonderful. But getting my endurance back is taking me longer. And I don't have patience for that. I'm just like that. I want to get back to getting 4 zillion things done a day and feeling accomplished and and so there's that. So my reading was just awful this month. You know how many middle grade books I finished? 1. The Silver Pencil. 1. Because it seemed most nice. I was too tired to sit down at the end of the day and do my reading, which I do before I go to bed. And I'm not lying in bed. I'm sitting at a proper chair in my library. I was just too tired. So hopefully next month will be better. And because I don't want to have gone through all this effort choosing these middle grade books to read just to simply file all of them away without having read them. So what I decided I'll do is I'll take 1 per month over the year and just read 1 a month. I think that's fair for me. And I think next year will be better. I will have had more than a year to recover. I think I'll be fine by then. Now, for my book group. This is the book we are currently reading, The Demon of Unrest by Erik Larson. Fantastic. I love these narrative histories because the authors, if they use their words well, can do such a wonderful job of fleshing out those names, those dates, those events. And it makes history the most fascinating subject ever. And they're wonderful introductions for adults who were never really interested in history. This type of narrative history is what can draw them in. I love this type so much. And this talks about the Civil War. So the individuals and events leading up to that, what their motivations were, what drove them, what Southern society was like, why they were the way they were, how they differed from the North and why. All these little details that would be perhaps mundane in a classroom setting, Erik Larson puts to words in a way that it just sounds like a wonderful, interesting story. So I am only just starting, but this is a book truly that you can read and not want to put down. That's how it flows. He just does a fabulous job. This was published in, it's not that old. Okay, it's published by Crown New York, and the copyright is 2024. This particular edition is very recent. This particular edition was published this year. I like the cover. And this particular, oh my gosh, I should know the name of this particular fort. Fort Sumter. This is Fort Sumter, where it all began. Really neato. So I got to get this done by the 3rd Thursday of April. So this is going to be my focus right here until I can get through that. For April, this is the middle grade book that I'll be reading, Max and the House of Spies, A Tale of World War II. It also has a sequel. I may end up getting that sequel the following month, but we'll see. I already talked about this book in my middle grade March review. A boy in Berlin, he barely speaks English, he doesn't want to live with strangers, and most of all, he doesn't want to leave his parents behind. And when he's on the kinder transport to England, he meets 2 unexpected traveling companions, a kobold named Berg and a Dybbuk named Stein. And he has a plan to get himself back to Berlin. And his plan is to convince the British to make him a spy so he can head back to Berlin. Apparently there's a bit of fantasy involved in this because these 2 individuals he met aren't people. So I'm curious to see what that is. So that'll be interesting. All right, this one. This is what I'm reading for my Middle Ages, Compendium of Theology by Thomas Aquinas. Because my fatigue has been so high this month, I have just like barely inched my way through this thing. So, in the interest of time, I'm going to read as much of this as I can until the end of this month. It is now the 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st. I have 3 days. Let's see how far I get in 3 days. Then I will simply put it aside. I'll put a yellow sticker on the spine to show that I've not quite finished it. It was an in progress one. I'll put it back on the shelf. And then I'm going to move on to my next book that I really want to get into. I've been very much looking forward to it. That is this book here, The Divine Comedy by Dante. And this is all 3. Maybe I'm fooling myself that I could read through all these. I know, I'm guessing I'm going to need more than a month to do that in. That's okay. I would give something like this more than a month, as opposed to this. You know, this I could see myself finishing in a month if I'm having a good month, a regular month where I'm progressing through things. Whereas the Divine Comedy is 3 books together. So let's say this may take me 3 months, and that's okay. And this is one of the Penguin Classics Deluxe editions with its awesome illustrations. I like that illustration. And it has its French flaps. And then there's this back one here. That's done. And of course the deckled edges, which can drive you crazy when you're trying to flip a page, so you have to do it from the bottom or the top. And I don't see any notes at all. They're all in the back. All the notes are in the back. So that's going to be interesting. So this is my going to read starting in April. And my spine, my history spine, The Civilization of the Middle Ages by Norman F. Canters. I love this. This is a great, I'm so glad I picked this one. I am currently finishing up. I have finished chapter 4. I've got all my summaries in the margins. But the thing is, I have to transfer these summaries and these dates and everything and names that I've highlighted into my notebook. And then I can move on to the next chapter, which is chapter 5, The Advance of Ecclesiastical Leadership. I assigned myself 1 chapter per week to read, write my summaries on, and transfer to my notebook. 1 week to do that in. And of course, because March just was lousy, I'm supposed to complete chapter 8. Yeah, today's Saturday. I was supposed to have completed chapter 8 by today, and I've only completed chapter 4. Just keep moving along. I'll just readjust the numbers on the calendar and just keep going from there. The important thing is to just keep going. Great book. Love this book. And I think that is all, people. Have a safe weekend. And again, happy No King's Day. Be safe, everyone. I will see you in just a few days. If you liked what you saw and what you heard, please press that like button and subscribe button. It really helps me out. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.